Hello everybody and welcome to Skrrt Garage. I'm very happy that you made it to the channel today because today I am getting this bad girl on the dyno to see what kind of baseline number she can put down before we go ahead and put the massive crank pulley and tune on it. So without further ado, let's get this video started. Alright everybody, before we jump into the sexy part of this video, the pulls, let's talk about dynos themselves, or dynamometers. There are multiple different kinds. You have the Dynojet, the Mustang, the one that hooks up to the hub itself. There are lots of different types out there, and I want to get one thing straight with you guys. Dynos are purely measurement taking instruments. All they do is help you compare a baseline to a modified version of your engine's output. And that's very, very important because, you know, a lot of times you'll see these sexy dyno graphs and they've kind of skewed them to make it look like they make outrageous power and blah, blah, blah. But what's most important, like I said, is just figuring out the delta or the difference between 2 points, because there's so many factors that go into a dyno. You know, how hot it is outside, what gear you're in, if you have all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. Like I said, the Mustang, some dynos read higher or lower. The Mustang dyno is lovingly called the heartbreak dyno because it always shows numbers that are so much lower than other ones like the Dynojet. I today went to a Dynojet, and that's probably the most common one out there. And it wasn't because I wanted my numbers to be higher or lower. It's just purely because that's the one where the guys who are over there I trust the most, so that's why I went there. And if you're wondering why I need baseline numbers and you haven't seen any of my past videos for a little bit, check this out. I'm gonna be putting a full stage 2 supercharger crank pulley tune belt on in this upcoming week. And so I wanna get a good representation of what the car makes stock and what it will do with this tune and pulley. And the most objective way I think I can do that is by putting the car on the dyno. I don't love it because obviously there can be some mishaps on dynos. But for you guys and for the sake of anybody interested in getting this done, I want to give you guys a fair representation of what you can expect to gain. So I'm so excited for this, guys. You have no idea. I really can't wait. Which reminds me, if you guys are stopping by for the first time, please give this video a big old thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And of course, subscribe if you're new or haven't already. There's a little notification bell next to it. I'd really appreciate if you guys give this video a big old thumbs up, everything in between. All right, before I show you the exact dyno numbers, please don't be a scaredy cat. Comment down below, what do you guys think this car is gonna make on the dyno? It's a rear-wheel drive car, so there's only about 15% drivetrain loss. If I have to put my neck out there, I'm gonna just take the 550 that it's supposed to make advertised. I'm gonna chop 15% of it off and I'm gonna guess 470. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. All right, let's get these dyno runs started. Alright guys, before we talk about the dyno runs, I must say that the car sounded incredible in there. Very, very, very good. It sounded like complete thunder on those downshifts and crackles. Alright, now on to the runs. I will say this, the dyno operator got the car cruising up in 5th gear. He kind of slowly started getting on it. It dropped down into 4th. He ran all the way through 4th gear, then he ran all the way through 5th gear. And these are the numbers. He put down 486 wheel horsepower. And if you do the math with 15% drivetrain loss, that equals out to be 572 crank horsepower, completely stock. Well, I guess not completely stock because the car does have aftermarket intakes, but I personally have never seen those help any other car that I've ever owned, so I'm not sure that that helped too much. If it did add a horsepower or two, or maybe it took away a horsepower or two, I don't really know. If you guys are now looking at the torque, wondering why it is so low at 296, I do have some explaining to do there. So when you hook up your car to a dyno, specifically a dyno jet, they have a OBD2 dongle that they put inside of your car, and that syncs everything together, and that gives you a correct reading of both the horsepower and torque. However, for whatever reason, it was not hooking up to my car. So we had to do an old school method that the dyno jet offers of hooking it up to a coil pack on your engine. Unfortunately, when you do it that way, it actually does not give you a correct torque reading. It only gives you a correct horsepower reading. So unfortunately, it read that my torque was very low at 296, but it did give me the correct horsepower. And the dyno operator did inform me of that, and the car was already hooked up, so there really wasn't much we could do. You know, ultimately I would like to know what kind of torque it's gonna be able to put down later on, but for the sake of the video and for the sake of just getting a baseline number before I put the tune on, I was okay with it. At least we have the horsepower, so when I go back, we'll run the same test the same way, and we'll get a better reading on the horsepower. But now begs the question, were you guys correct? Did you guys say anything above or below 485 wheel horsepower? If you did guess somewhere around there, kudos to you. I guessed less. You know, I just did the cheater method of plugging in 15% drivetrain loss of 550, and I guessed 470. But yeah guys, that's kind of really all I have to say about it. I'm really excited to see what the car can put down with the full stage 2 kit on it, and that'll probably be the next video you see with this car. So if you haven't already, again, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a positive comment down below, and I really appreciate you guys stopping by at the channel today. Have a great day, and we will see you next time. Peace.